All right. We are live. We are live. Finally. We are here. What is up, everybody? I know I had some people shouting at me and hit me up in my emails and when you going live? When you going live? We missed your last live. I'm telling you, it's been crazy. But I said, I'm going live Sunday. We're going to get it done. All right, let's see what we got in the building. A cold Pepsi up in here? Cold Pepsi. Yes, I am well. I hope you are too. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Miss Justice is in the house, holding it down. Uh-oh. You know what happens when Miss Justice is in the building. Much love to you, Miss Justice. Thank you so much for being here tonight to moderate. Yeah, we're going to get into a couple of things. Stephanie Harden is in the building. Stephanie, much love to you. Welcome. Notifications are lagging. Yes, I know. Whole lot of other things I've noticed too. Because I'm watching my channel on my YouTube channel, and yet on StreamYard, I don't see. I don't know. Maybe it'll clear up. Who knows? But I see y'all on my channel through my other device. We'll get through it. I don't know. YouTube is having a time with me, I guess, right? But much love to you, Stephanie. Carol Smith is in the building. Carol, much love to you. That is my ace right there. keeps me up to date. We're going to get into a couple of updates that Carol sent me as well. Thank you so much, Carol. Jackie Barty is in the building. Much love to you, Jackie. Marley 13, my love, is in the building. Marley, good to see you. Miss Candy Cane 82 is in the building. All right. Cha B is in the building. I know it's been a minute, folks. It has been a minute for me. But, with all the running around and doing background work and channeling into some new work that I do here in New York. So a lot has been going on. And then the last time I was supposed to go live, there was a snow system north of where I am in New York State. And that night I got bombarded with emergency calls. I handle an emergency line as, part-time, some extra money on the side. You know how we do it. And the phone just kept blowing off the handles, with emergency calls, people losing heat, some kind of electricity disconnection was found out north of Syracuse, and put a lot of people on the phone calling me. What happened? I lost power. Oh, okay. Did you check the breaker switches and all this stuff, walking them through it on the phone and whatnot? And it was just a mess. It was a mess. So that messed up my time going live the last time I was supposed to be here. So my apologies. I don't like to do that. But if John Q is scheduled to go live, he goes live. If something happens and you see that live get rescheduled, then you know that John is busy. But but we made time for it this Sunday, though. I'm back at you. Miss 45 is in the building. Much love to you. What I wanted to do tonight was just to jump on here and touch base with everybody. See how you folks have been. See what's popping, what's crack-a-lacking, what's kicking. How's everybody doing? Hopefully well. We're coming out of winter finally. Spring is officially here, but not yet in New York. It's still trying to edge up from its 32s and 34s. Today was it was about 51 here. About 51 here now. Yeah, yes, it was important stuff, Cha B. Very important, but most certainly. Got y'all folks jumping up in here saying hello and much love to each other. That's the way to do it. That is the way to do it. Did I miss the round table a couple of days ago? I don't know. I know Miss 54 Keys and Boss Blake and myself did the last round table covering the Shanquella Robinson case. And that was most recent. That was predominantly most recent. If I'm not mistaken, it was about a week ago, give or take. And with everything going on with me, I'm over here doing background work and preparing for this live. And I was able to join a couple of other channels during the course of the week, and they're covering the Shanquella Robinson case. They're covering the Summer Wells case. And I have to make my rounds, I have to make my visits. They're even still covering the Kanika Jenkins case. Yeah, but we had a very good time on that last live we did concerning the Shanquella Robinson case on Miss 54 Keys' channel. And if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Put it on your list. Check it out. We go into some great information on that live. But I just thought I'd jump on here uh, and share with you some updates. I says I don't know whether I wanted to put it on Cue the Truth or just go live and surprise everybody. So I just said, you know something, I'll just go live. I just go live. No bias is in the house. Thank you for joining us. Lady Hawk is in the house. You did an amazing job on Shanquella Robinson. Well, thank you. Thank you. Wow, we got some people coming in the building. I still don't have. This is crazy. Okay. I guess it is what it is, what it is, what it is. I had some updates to do on StreamYard. They've come up with some new features and whatnot. And I've been learning to play around with those. And I'm making some adjustments on StreamYard. They're always coming up with something new. I guess it's a season kind of thing. Each season they come up with updates, and now you got to learn some extra stuff to do. But I hope y'all can see me. We got 28 people in the building. Much love to you. Thank you for popping in. Thank you, Miss Justice, for dropping 54 Keys' link. Also, Mr. Bossman Blake, my brother, on his channel. Thought I had something on the stove there for a minute. On his channel, that Crimes Community Network. He's been doing a fantastic job. I know he's been busy. Miss Lady Love has been very busy on her channel. She had a live last night, which I'm coming in late in the door. So I do apologize, Miss Lady Love, for showing up late. I had the notification on my phone. You can't be doing all this stuff driving now, you know. She said, we were on here 3 hours. And here you come. I said, I'm sorry. No bias says, I've watched you on several channels and love your work. Well, thank you. Thank you. We try to get around. You know, I have my favorite channels that I enjoy watching as well. So, you got to make some time and show the love and share the love wherever you can. I certainly try to. I support those other channels for doing the incredible work that they do on their channels. Absolutely. Ra, the creator. That's how I be. Loud and late. I know. It happens. What else you gonna do on planet Earth? It happens. But hey, when your schedule is tight and you have a channel on YouTube, of course you try to make time. You do the best you can. And you want to come with something. You always want to come with something, you know. So most other channels that I've gone to, that I don't go to anymore. Obviously, I mean they dried up somehow. I don't know. Now they get on there and bitch about other people, and I'm not about that. I'm bored. Let me go on YouTube and bitch about other people. Oh man, you must want to make a phone call. You might as well make a phone call. Serious. You want to curse them out, do it directly. You got to go live to curse somebody out. And those other people that had no idea of who they were talking about. Some do, some don't. So what? Somewhere, some do. So I don't know. I don't know. That's a waste of time for me. Hello, Miss Sherry is in the building. Yes, most certainly. Most certainly. But yeah, so tonight I've been getting updates constantly from my A1 ace, Miss Carol Smith. She's done an excellent job in keeping me up to date, and I've been reading those updates whenever I get them. Miss D Love is in the building. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for showing up, Miss D Love. Always a pleasure. I know D Love and let's see, a couple other folks up in here that I see from time to time. Well, Miss 45, I know she makes her rounds still following the certain cases. I think Kanika Jenkins is one of them, and oh my goodness, yeah. So got to stay up to date. Rather Creator, thank you, Miss Justice, for dropping Rather Creator's channel up in the room. So what do we have to talk about? Oh man, all right. So let's see. Let me go down my board here. See what I got going on, because I know that there was some updates. Oh, I got an update for you. Here's an update. I'm at least going to, I had to straighten out my schedule. So I'm going to be scheduling going live with you on Sundays. Focus on my Sundays. I'm going to focus either at the 7:30 mark or the 8:30 mark. All depends on how everything works out. And we're going to be getting into just a few new things. Linda Bess is in the house. Welcome, Linda. We're going to be getting into doing and taking phone calls on the air, where I drop a number and you get to call in and speak to John Q live on anything or discussion that we are covering for that particular live. So I'm going to be moving that in on my channel. The meaning to do it a while back, but with so much going on, it's just been crazy. But yeah, there were some suggestions made, and I said, you know something, I can do that. So yeah, so Sundays between the hours of 7:30 to 8:30, either time slot. I'm just trying a few new things because a number of people use Sundays to go live, and usually I'll do a table talk if I have a special guest that wants to join me to do a table talk. That's what I like to do table talk for, is when I have a special guest. So if you don't see table talk every Sunday, it's because I haven't had a guest lineup yet. We had a sensational table talk with Miss Lady Love. In fact, she was the very first table talk I did for the year. I look forward to doing more table talks. And anyone who wants to do a table talk with John Q, you can hit me up too. Got my email address in the description box down below. All my contact information is there. If you would like to do a table talk with me, be more than happy to do that. I'm always looking for interesting people, interesting backgrounds, interesting upbringing. What made them decide to jump into the YouTube community and do what they do. Love to chop it up that way. That's why I made Table Talk anyway. Definitely. So look forward to doing more of those interviews on Table Talk. John Q, well, tonight, is pretty much a freelance night. I do have a couple of things that I am going to get into. And then obviously Q the Truth, where we actually cover casework. I'm still working on the Daniel Robinson case, 25-year-old field geologist that went missing in Buckeye, Arizona in 2021, June of 2021. Same time Summer Wells went missing. 2 weeks apart, almost 2 weeks apart. And they have not found Daniel. They have not found Daniel. They have not found Summer either. How do people go missing without a trace? Now, there's some hanky-panky going on. Well, not hanky-panky, that's a bad word for it. Bad word. There's some stuff going on. That there's some stuff going on. Shell, how you doing? Welcome, 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 welcome. I see you snuck up in here. Melanie Hart is in the building too. Melanie, where have you been? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. We got some people stepping up in here tonight. I have an autopsy question on Shanquella that I would like you to help me on. Okay, I hope I can cover it. That's Eastern time. Yes, Carol. Eastern time. New York time. Eastern time. Okay, so she gonna throw me a autopsy question. I know that autopsy was something else to get through, and to look at the preliminary findings as well as the pathological findings was, it's incredible. Hematoma all over the place, which is swelling. Everything was at idiomatic, I think they call it, edematous. Let's put it that way. She was swollen from the top of her head right down to the tips of her toes. And that took time. And time it took indeed. It took time for that to happen. But knowing that the amount of hours that it takes for the body to begin to swell up after death is determined, after the person is deceased, could literally, depending on the chemistry, everybody's chemistry is not the same. We have to remember that. So in her case, Shanquella Robinson, her chemistry got to a point to where there was a lot going on in a short period of time. From the time that she was attacked early in the morning, and we predict about maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock time, give or take, up until the time she was being treated by the medical physician that was there, which was hours later into the afternoon. Hours later. We got to chop it up about John Q. Daniel Robinson. Okay, gotcha. Most certainly. So that autopsy report just blew my mind. And it was a Mexican autopsy. The Mexican autopsy. We still haven't laid eyes on if there was an American autopsy when she got back to North Carolina. That I'd like to put my eyes on. Because when you have an official autopsy that says autopsy on the top of the page rather than a necropsy that's on the top of the page. I said, a necropsy? What the hell's that? I had to look that up, which we did, and we found out what it was. It's an autopsy on an animal. Autopsy here in the United States is an autopsy on another human being. So Mexico's got some weird words describing certain things that we're not used to. That's what we've been finding out on the round table. Thank you, Miss Justice. Yes, yes. And we're still working on the Daniel Robinson case. In fact, I've spoken to David Robinson recently on his channel and over the phone. He's been very, very busy, folks, and he's pushing down some walls and getting in people's face, and putting the pedal to the metal. And he is making progress. And once he's able to free his time up, we're going to have him back on my channel, and I'm trying to schedule him to do a special roundtable channel with 54 Keys and Mr. Boss Blake. So I'm looking to line that up. That's what I've been doing behind the scenes. Just keeping up with stuff. Trying to make sure that I stay abreast of everything that I'm working on. Not only for my channel, but for the roundtable as well. It's a lot of work. You don't want to be in my shoes. Oh my goodness, I gotta go run over here and do this. I hate to say it, but some of these people could be underground. No kidding. We conversed about Daniel's whereabouts on his dad's channel. Yes, we certainly have. Miss Lady Love is in the building. First time here? First time on your channel, so I'm here. Melanie, well, you are welcome. Thank you for joining us. And my Lady Love is in the building. I was just talking about you earlier when I popped on, Miss Lady Love. She had a live going on last night. I come in 3 hours later. Well, who is this? Man, we're about ready to get off of here. Are you coming in late? Oh, we just got an update on something here. Boss man just sent me something. Okay. We'll get back at that. But yeah, you coming in here late? Nigga, where you been? And I was coming home, and I don't mess around when I drive. Most people, they're in their car. They got gizmos and gadgets all up in the front of their car. You're supposed to be looking at the road. Come to a stoplight. Yeah, dude had two phones in his hands and a headpiece. I said, what are people turning into robo people or something? It's that important to be communicating while doing something that is the most important in terms of safety that you got to be doing, is that keeping your eyes and awareness on the road. And I'm going, oh man, you got to keep your eyes fully open, especially here in New York, if you maybe where you live too. I says, I can't understand what, since the cell phones came out, people are just glued to them, almost like their skin. So yeah, I don't mess around when I drive. I put the phone on mute. When I get home and I got my car parked, I'll get to my phone later. First things first. And a lot of people got their priorities, like, Scrambled up like eggs. Not me. I don't mess around with that, especially New York. No, 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 no. You don't mess around with that traffic. You don't do it. You do not do it. You do. You end up someplace you didn't think about being, that's for sure. So I don't try to do the multitask thing because, hey, you don't need to you're automatically multitasking when you're in your car driving without the phone. People popping up out of nowhere, not throwing on the signal lights, walking in front of the pedestrian walkway. I mean, it just get all up in your business. Yeah, go ahead, hit me. Hit me. I need some insurance money. Mhm. And not me. Not me. So, in light of that, still covering the Daniel Robinson case, the Shanquella Robinson case. Um, I've spoken to RJ in regards to Summer Wells. We chopped it up on his channel. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, he's live on his channel now talking about Summer Wells. And who else I got in here? Oh, oh, we've got and the West case. Excuse me, almost drew a blank there for a second. Our California City boys. I think we may be misinterpreting the time of the autopsy to no fault of our own, but because of how Mexico has handled the paperwork. Yeah, terrible. Terrible. And I even said it on 54 Keys' channel when we covered Shanquella Robinson. I believe that there was some incompetency in that case coming from a lot of people, a lot of officials, the doctor, the Red Cross, the police, people who handle the transferring of medical information pertaining to Shanquella. I don't truly believe that a thorough autopsy was done as we would do here in America. The Attorney General for Baja California, sir, in his taking his time approach with everything, his office didn't get notification of Shanquella's case in proper time. So a lot of time elapsed between the time of her death and the time they got notification of her death. I mean, there's a lot of things wrong with that. And it really, really bothers me and hurts me to know and to feel that the family is, Shanquella's family is suffering the way they are, trying to just get justice for their daughter. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, please clarify the 20 centimeters from the vulva to the lower thigh. Does that mean her vulva was 20 centimeters wide? That would mean it was 7 inches wide, and I question that. That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't have the autopsy directly in front of me right now to actually cover that, but I'm going to make a notation. I'm definitely going to make a notation to that. I know that there was edema present in many areas of her body. Down below the pelvic area, the stomach was also edematous. The legs were edematous. The calves were edematous, all the way to the feet. The neck and shoulders, as well as her head, was edematous, according to the autopsy. So very good question. I did make a note of that. I will definitely address that. I don't believe that there was a medical physician there to treat Shanquella. They lied. Yes, I do too. And not to have taken command and control of the situation in a life and death situation, and that is your call of duty. Talking about don't take her to the hospital, treat her here. Are you kidding me? See, that's problematic for me. That right there says a lot. Says a lot. So, and it hurts me to see how what the family has to do, struggling to try to get justice. You know, Sue Ann Robinson, the attorney for the family, uh, and God love her and bless her for the work that she's doing, you know, trying to help the family. She went down there to Mexico and they treated her like a nobody. Who are you? Almost. Now, if she went unannounced, maybe she has her reasons to. But if she got on the phone and made a phone call and say, look, I'm coming down there in 2 days. I need to speak with the Attorney General. I want to have access to all the records that you guys have. I want to know what package you sent to the United States for them to begin the extradition process. I want to go to the villa. I want to see that. Who is this guy, Zuniga? I want to speak to him. I want to talk to the nurse. I want to talk to police officers. I want to talk to anybody who has had a connection with Shanquella Robinson's case. That's what she went down there for. Fact find. Because we weren't finding out anything here in the United States at all. At all. Not even the FBI was saying anything about the case. Yet they made a statement back in November saying that they were opening up an investigation. Well, where's your update? Where's your update? They're not even giving the family updates. I hope so too, Lady Hawk. I know that the FBI has suggested once Shanquella's body got back to North Carolina that the family should have an autopsy done. And I believe, according to one of Zuniga's colleagues that works with him, Miss Liza, stated on another content creators channel, which I've also visited, who's covering the case, stated that they did have an autopsy done. So the family did have an American autopsy done. So we're hoping that they will release that autopsy so that we can review that and compare that to the Mexican autopsy that was sent. So, yeah, and then you know what's going to happen. We're going to cover that on the roundtable. We're going to be covering that on the roundtable because we dig into the details. We dig into the details on the roundtable. We don't play. And most of y'all know what the roundtable is. For those that don't, go to 54 Keys' channel, subscribe to her channel, and every time we go to the roundtable, you will get notified. If YouTube does its job, you should be notified. We're working behind the scenes now to continue getting updates on that case, as well as Kanika Jenkins' case. We're still working on that. Looking forward to having a case special guest, David Robinson, on her channel, sharing his story regarding his son and also providing updates. So all that takes time and coordination. And if you do the kind of work that we do, yes, it it most certainly takes time. It most certainly takes time. I learned then from you about the necropsy. I was blown away. Do you know if Mexico does one versus the other, or are they all considered a necropsy? You know something, that's a great question, no bias. According to that death certificate and the way it looks, necropsy is part of the fine print in the death certificate. It's not like written on there like it was typed, but it's part of the print of the actual death certificate. Was a necropsy performed? Yes, is the answer that they had to put in the box answering the question. So necropsy, I guess that's what they do. Don't go to Mexico, you'll get a necropsy done. How's that? They won't know, people won't know what the hell they're talking about if it comes back to America. Tanya Carter's in the building. Oh, yes. Much love to you, Tanya. Thank you for being here. Yeah. Sharing and showing the love. Yeah, so that's a great question. And that's why I question the autopsy. Broken neck. They never mention whether it was a complete internal atlas luxation, decapitation, if you will. So it wasn't too detailed for me. When I did Kanika Jenkins's autopsy, when I covered her case, it was basically 7 pages along with the toxicology report. Now, if they did any toxicology on Shanquella, where is that report? Where is that? Because that tells us what she had in her system. If she had any drugs, alcohol, or any foreign substance, that should have came along with it. So we're very limited in what Mexico sent us. Very, very limited. So, I mean, that's what they gave us. That's what we get. Yeah, Miss Justice, I see you multitasking down there too. Thank you, love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see. Has anyone heard about Haley Wells, 16 or 17 from Tennessee missing? No Amber Alert or anything like that. Oh, come on. Shankrock is in the building? Shankrock is in the building? Brother Rock is in the building? There he is. Brother Rock. We chopped it up on his channel. Thank you, brother. Much love to you, man. Miss Justice, if you can find Brother Shankrock's channel, he's definitely got a channel going on over there covering the Shanquella Robinson case. I mean, like you would not believe. Guy does marathons on the case. Back to back to back to back to back to back to back. You better hold on if you go over there. You'll get a wealth of information. He has, a huge panel, which I was a part of, I think, on 2 occasions. And we covered an array of information, covered the autopsy. And he's breaking this case down. Whether we should take Nazir Wiggins off the table, whether we should take the maid off the table, whether we should keep this document on the table. And then he has people on the panel come on up and tell us why. Why do you think this should stay on the table? Because he's going through the process of deduction to try to squeeze down the case into a single composite to where it begins to tighten the timeline and begins to make sense and to see if anything pops up out of that we haven't seen before. So great work, Brother Rock. Great work. Great work. Man, I didn't know y'all was in here. Definitely. Salute to the chat. All right. All right. Let's see what else we got here. RJ's from the conversation living room. So here's what I'm going to do, because I know I've been trying to keep up with the chat. And y'all have just been marvelous. It wouldn't surprise me if the times don't match up from person to person of when and who recorded whatever they were supposed to. I know, because that's the main thing that got screwed up in the beginning of the case was the time. Time of death, 3 o'clock. Now, wait a minute. Now, the doctor says time of death, 5:57 p.m. Uh-oh, you got a problem here. Got a problem already. Death certificate says one thing. Now the doctor's reporting another thing. Why didn't they take what the doctor said and put on the death certificate if she actually died at 5:57 p.m.? There's something wrong there. Coming out the gate. And that was the first document that I questioned and still question today. Is that authentic? Was that a quick phone call? Information over the phone that may have been misinterpreted in some way, shape, or form in Spanish. In Spanish. Mundi is in the building. Where y'all coming from? Say John Q is live. Miss Lorraine is in the building. Certainly is. Linda Bess is in the building. Certainly is. All right. So here's what I wanted to share with you. So in covering that, so going back to what I was talking about before, yes, so we're going to begin taking phone calls on John Q Live. I'm going to be working that into my time schedule. I'm going to be dropping numbers. People can call in, ask questions, chime in into the conversation, and make that a part of our channel. So that's coming. Let's see. What else we got there? Oh, I'm still working on putting together a follow-up on these guys here. Tyree Nichols' case is still on my table. 5 police officers who were indicted for his murder. I questioned the police chief too. And I know that she's not delighted with the pressure that they have down there in Memphis, along with, the family. Ben Crump is a busy lawyer, I must say. He's handling Shanquella's case, Tyree Nichols' case. I mean, it's one after the other. Also, the Breonna Taylor case. Also doing follow-ups pertaining to what happened to her. And that case is evolving as well. Because there were 4 police officers that were in her case that didn't do the right thing and got indicted. Yeah, one after the other, after the other, after the other. And obviously, we're still working on Shanquella Robinson's case as it's unfolding. Is the United States going to do something in reference to the extradition of Dejanay Jackson, the female who allegedly had that altercation, produced that attack that morning on October 29th of last year? And we saw 17 seconds, 17 to 20 seconds, give or take, depending on what video you have seen, that had that brutal attack, which caused the death and demise of Shanquella Robinson. What is the United States doing right now to get this case underway? What is the FBI and the Office of International Affairs doing right now? See, they need to step up. They need to answer something. Because the family has been just outright out there on mainstream media, letting them know, well, at least this guy, Merrick Garland, who happens to be in charge, State Attorney General, of getting these cases, reviewing them, and getting them dispatched and expedited. This is the dude right here, Merrick Garland. And as for Salamandra Robinson, Shanquella's mom, we're fighting. We've got some great people here in the chat tonight. That's put your story, Shanquella Robinson's story, on their channel, and have been just going deep down into it and exposing it and keeping it exposed. Hopefully we'll get to see something happen this week, maybe in the next couple of weeks, but something's got to move. And I'm just surprised that, then again, not too surprised, but how the United States is handling this. When it comes to homicide, female homicide. Incredible. It happens every single day, but, we get to hear little or nothing about it. Little or nothing about it. Sherry is in the building. Rasheem Carter's case has me tore up. See, there's another one. I think I came across that one too. But yeah, so justice for Shanquella Robinson. We hope to see it. We got to get it. It has to happen. It's got to happen. What I wanted to do, let me see if I can bring it up, was to share with you something I came across. And that was this case. California City Boys, our California City Boys. Orson and Orrin West, aka Classic and Sincere Pettis, who went missing December of 2020 from their adoptive parents' hands in California City, California. We've covered that case here on my channel, and it was good to see that there was movement regarding their court proceedings. We got a trial. This is from KGET. We have got a trial coming up Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. on this case. Finally. 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 These people going to be in court. And this is the update I was waiting for. I said, oh, they're going back and forth. The defense counsel is trying to make a motion here to get the case thrown out and all this other gibberish that they try. Well, as a defense counsel, that's your job. That's your job. They have to do that. Have to at least try to do that. But here, finally, folks, we got an update. And this update is huge because this update just came out yesterday at 7:28 p.m. Bakersfield, California, with attorneys, investigators, and court records subject to a gag order. There is still little publicly known about what happened to siblings Orrin and Orson West more than 2 years ago. That's about to change. On Tuesday, the trial of the boys' adoptive parents begins. Trezell and Jacqueline West are charged with second-degree murder, involuntary manslaughter, and other offenses and face life terms in prison if convicted. Finally, details have remained hidden from the public will start to come to light. Among them, the evidence that led prosecutors to conclude that Orrin 4 and Orson 3 are dead and that the Wests are responsible. The defense, for its part, will argue the couple didn't kill the boys. During jury selection last week, Timothy Hennessy, one of the attorneys representing Trezell West, said the boys may not even be dead, just still missing. Check that out. Defense attorney, they might not even be dead, but are still missing, was his comment. The bodies of Orrin and Orson West have not been found despite massive searches involving hundreds of people and an investigation that brought in multiple agencies, including the FBI. Defense attorney Victor Nazaire is co-counsel for Trezell West, and Jacqueline West is represented by, I think her name is Alexia Torres Stolling and Fatima Rodriguez. Trezell and Jacqueline West reported the boys missing from their California city home on December 21st of 2020. Months passed, then a year. Rewards were offered. Hundreds of tips were investigated. Search warrants served. The boys didn't turn up. On March 1st, 2022, in a development first reported by 17 News, the Wests were charged and taken into custody. The following day, District Attorney Cynthia Zimmer held a press conference saying the Wests had been indicted by a grand jury, and evidence gathered during a painstaking investigation revealed the boys died 3 months before they were reported missing. Little else has been revealed. Last week, a document released by the County Department of Human Services said law enforcement concluded the boys died from abuse, but it provided no specifics. While much of what will be presented at trial over the next couple of months remains unknown, there are some things that will certainly happen. There will be multiple child witnesses. In addition to Orrin and Orson, the Wests are caring for 2 other adoptive children and 2 biological children. At least some of them will be called to the stand to testify, including the indictment of an allegation the West induced a minor to commit a crime. The jury is going to hear from the Department of Human Services officials and how the foster and adoption process works. Prosecutor Eric Smith said during his jury selection, multiple officials will be testifying. Smith also told jurors to expect hours upon hours of surveillance footage. This will likely include footage both in California City and Bakersfield, where the Wests and the children previously lived. Law enforcement dug at locations in both cities, and the jury will visit locations in both. Judge Charles R. Bremer informed them that they'll be spending a half a day at one or more locations in Bakersfield and a full day at the locations in California City. Of course, many members of law enforcement will testify. There will be witnesses from California City and Bakersfield police departments, and likely others that took part in the investigation. While most witnesses will testify in person, Bremer said some will give testimony through Zoom. Will the West testify? ? That's unclear. During jury selection, defense counsel asked prospective jurors if they understood their clients were under no obligation to take the witness stand. While some said they'd like to hear from the Wests, they agreed not to hold it against them if they didn't testify. Since no bodies have been ever found, the jury won't, as in the vast majority of murder trials, view autopsy photos or hear from a forensic pathologist as to the manner of death. No, because they don't have the boys, that's why. The case against the West is built on circumstantial evidence, which Smith last week said sometimes gets a bad rap, but is just as good as direct evidence. He described circumstantial evidence as foundational. One piece of evidence linked to another piece, and it builds bit by bit to a reasonable basis for drawing conclusions. The prosecution has found the evidence points to the conclusion the boys were killed and the Wests were the culprits. Opening statements will be heard at 9 a.m. Tuesday. Channel 17 News will be providing regular updates each day of the trial, which is expected to finish sometime in June. That's the update. Finally, we get to see some action in this case. It's been a long time coming. Come back to you here. I know I missed a lot of your comments. Yes, toxicology report tells a lot. I'm just going to scroll down here a little bit. See what we got. Absolutely, medical examiner, please take, excuse my typos. No bias said, I questioned the authenticity of the death certificate as well. However, the family statements of what they saw seems to be consistent with that. I do still question the other documents and events. I agree, no bias. I agree. Slide down here, John. Do you think that they sold those kids? You know something? I don't. It never dawned on me whether they did or not. You know, a lot has been kept in the dark. They first of all came out and lied. They came out and lied straight out at their little news conference the day after the boys went missing. I'm still going down your comments here. So you come out the gate like that, and it's like, okay, so now what do we believe? So now you got to take it with a grain of salt. You got to take everything that they say with a grain of salt. And forgive me if I'm not hitting the comments. I just got to catch up with y'all. Y'all are typing like crazy. Drama Free is in the building. Yeah, so we got a case. We got the case. The woman is the evil one. The man follows her lead. Big Steak is in the house. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that I put this update on tonight's live. So they're going to be blasting off on Tuesday, 9 a.m. This opening statements. Oh man, I wish there was some way. I think, if I'm not mistaken, and I know Carol has been on this case, sending me the updates. I don't know if they're going to have opening statements televised. I think I overheard that they were. So once this begins on Tuesday, I don't know if they're going to do it from Facebook or from the Kern County Courthouse. But if they do, I will definitely jump on here and do a special court case coverage on opening statements, because that is going to tell us what the DA wasn't able to tell us when they had the press conference in March of last year. They'll be able to present their case to the jury. That may take, who knows, it may take a half a day, it may take a full day for the DA to begin their opening statements. And then you'll have defense counsel, and there are I believe three or four attorneys for Trezell and Jacqueline West that will also be making opening statements. I know there will be for Trezell, his attorney will be making opening statements, and then there will be one for Jacqueline West. So expect two attorneys to be making opening statements there. So in looking at that, you see. And looking at that, I want to go to the location that it all started, which is right here in California City, California. When I first came across this case, I said, what a place to be. Now, these boys went missing somewhere out here. Oh, Lord. How on earth could they have gotten away that quick? If they went missing from out here. Let me swing this around. There we go. If they went missing from out here, I've had my thoughts about it. I went live about it. I've had AV Watchman on my channel. We discussed it. I've had Miss Roro, one of the family members, um, on my channel. We've discussed it. I've had Miss Lynn on my channel, and we've discussed uh, the psychological aspects regarding the boys and children in a traumatic event situation. The RAD situation that children go through in the traumatic situations. But yeah, we pulled this baby apart. And I believe that, rather, creator. I've always believed that. Because I've scratched my head and I said, there's no way. There's no way they could have gotten out of here that quick. For somebody not to have seen them, to have found them, to locate them at all. This was the area right here. And I'm not sure what date this was taken, but it looks like this today, brother. The window's all boarded up and everything. And obviously, if it's anything, look at that. Even got little stuffed animals still sitting in the front of the doorway here. All these are stuffed animals that are still sitting in front of the doorway. This, of course, would have to have been preserved for trial. And I'm using Google Earth for this location. This side area here was always questionable as to where Trezell was outside this gate area. The gate area is where my arrow is back here. I don't know if you can see it. And he's outside here throwing wood in the yard over the fence or through the gate. And the boys were supposed to be on the back patio in December playing. A little after 4 p.m. that afternoon. I said, no, this is all open all the way to this house. And I had found a fence that was ripped down over here where I thought maybe, if they did get out and this dude came to the front and he had his back turned and they went running all the way around here and went through that opening there, they could have gotten out on the other side. Could have gotten out on the other side. I'll show you. Right there. Through this welded gate area. There was no gate there. In fact, it was a part of a gate that was just bent down. It looked like a lot of people were pushing through this area, only to find out that this house wasn't even lived in during that time. This was abandoned. So it was a blind spot. Could they have gotten out on the other side? And somebody picked them up. I was thinking in every which way, shape, or form to try to figure out how those boys went missing. But here, take a look at this for a second. Look how huge this area is. Let me straighten it out. Here's California City. Look at it, in the middle of freaking nowhere. Look at this. Look at this. Back up a little bit more. Looks like a moon crater. Laura Croft is in the building. Thank you, Miss Laura. And each time I pull up, it's incredible. I'm 739 miles up. Look at where California City, California is, where the boys allegedly went missing. Look at all of the surrounding area here. Who in the hell would move out there? There's nothing out there. Look at. Now, if you went back to Bakersfield, you'd have to go back here. I mean, this baby is in the middle of nowhere. What would make Jacqueline and Trezell West ever think about moving way the hell out here? This is about an hour away from Bakersfield, by the way. You took a car. So by the DA coming back out and saying that her investigators found that the boys were unalived 3 months prior to the 911 phone call. They went missing in December. The West got there in September. They came from Bakersfield. They were in Bakersfield from August, July, June, May, April, etc. So if Chief John Walker couldn't find those boys out here in the middle of no frickin' where, with all the search efforts that the California City Police Department had done, I said, well, hell, they could have did something to them in Bakersfield before they moved to California City, California. Hence, if they made the move and they got found out that they didn't have the boys with them, and they needed to make that phone call like Trezell did to say, oop, the jig's up. I got to call 911, say that the boys went missing now. Hang on to your hat, Jacqueline. Hang on to your hat, Jacqueline. It's about to get messy. Sweet Pea said, she doesn't believe that they made it to California City either. So it would make you think, yeah, they never brought those boys out here to begin with. Because we only saw 4 children on December 19th. AV Watchman had definitely shared that video piece from the neighbor that caught it on the video surveillance monitor, looking directly at that house on Aspen Avenue. And that house is right here. Video surveillance footage from this house to theirs. Straight across this open lot to their house, captured what December 19th looked like. And they only captured 4 children coming out the doorway. This doorway right here in front of the house where the van was. So they weren't even with them at that time, the 19th. So they got caught there. I said, no, something is wrong. They're lying. They're lying, and the biological mom felt that they did something to her boys. They did something to her boys. Because there would have been no way in the world. Thank you, Miss Justice, for dropping AV Watchman's link. There's no way in the world they could have gotten away that quick And for Trezell to have gotten in his van, the white van, and I'm going to show you what he did because we went over this. He left that driveway, made a left turn, hit this corner here, then made a right turn. I think this is Bay. Made another right turn. Excuse me, made another right turn. Came down here, all the way down. Made another right turn. Came over here, went back up. Hit Proctor Boulevard. Made another right turn. Went down the block. Made another right turn. And finally made his final right turn here and came back to the house, all within about 5 to 6 minutes. And that's how big the scope is, all the way around the block. 5 minutes. He looked for the boys in 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes. That's all he did right here, folks. That's going to be brought up in court. He didn't go any place else other than around the block. Why didn't he go elsewhere? Why didn't Jacqueline come out with a flashlight since he was in the vehicle and start a ground search? We don't see her do nothing. Nothing. Annabelle Roma, welcome. TJ, welcome. TJ said, what's this live about? We're going over the Jacqueline and Trezell West's case concerning the California City boys that went missing in December of 2020. We're covering some dynamics that will be coming up in court. So yeah, this is that location, and once again, it's in the middle of nowhere. California City, my goodness. What do people eat out here? Where are the stores? Is there a car wash? And the distance between California City, California, and Bakersfield, I began to look at, why would you go out here anyway? Now you got 2 children missing. You go all the way back here. Let me see if I can do one. No. Okay. And they came from the Casa Loma Apartments. Casa Loma Apartments, let's see. Bakersfield. That's it right there. 1 hour and 9 minutes. Okay. Give or take. I said an hour. I think I said an hour. Casa Loma Apartments is where they came from. Look at the distance here, folks. Out of all the places that they could have gone, in Bakersfield, they moved all the way out to California City, California. So just picture this as a person on the jury when they bring this information up. What made you decide to go all the way out to California City, California? You guys have relatives out there? People out there? You're buying your first home and you thought of California City, California. Why not elsewhere? But they came from a Casa Loma apartment. And it gives you a direct route to California City, California. And here are those apartments. East Casa Loma Drive, connected to South Drive, Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, right to the main route. And this is where they were before they went to California City, in an apartment complex. 6 children. And I know that the Casa Loma Apartments has what, I think 3 to 4 bedrooms, give or take. When I was doing research on it earlier in the case, I said, wait a minute, you got 6 kids. So you got 4 bedrooms. You'd have to have 4 bedrooms, 2 children in each bedroom, and then you have your bedroom. Could you imagine the noise that those 6 kids made in this apartment complex? And maybe the reason why they had to get out. You think the landlord will be at trial to testify how they even got there in the first place and how many children came along with them when they rented the apartment here? All that's going to be on the table now. Marie Dijon, welcome. All that's going to be on the table here now. How they got there, when they got there, any complaints from any other tenants regarding this family being here at the Casa Loma Apartments? And the trip they took all the way from there down 58 all the way past Bakersfield, all of this stuff to come out into the mountainous region. And this is mountainous, all this is mountainous. Bear Valley Springs, to drive 1 hour and 9 minutes, 69.1 miles east to go here in the middle of nowhere. I think Trezell had said something to either the owner or the realtor at the time of purchasing the home that they wanted to live off the grid. Where would you go if you wanted to live off the grid or something? Well, this is definitely living off the grid because there's no grid out here either. Jennifer is in the house. Oh, dang, I'm so darn late. Well, Jennifer, you didn't know I was going to be covering the boys. I know I should have put that in my title, but I just wanted to just come on back and freelance a little bit. But I did want to dig into the West case here tonight, only because we've got trials starting on Tuesday at 9 a.m. And just to refresh my memory as to what I went over case-wise on my channel, as to some of the things that the jury is going to be exposed to pertaining to this trial. But I wanted you to see this with a refreshed mind Now, to see the distance between where they came from, where they ended up, and why they said the boys went missing out in California City, California. I know John Walker is going to be taking the stand. Chief John Walker spent a very, very huge amount of time with his team and along with other investigative teams out there and the FBI looking for these boys, and kept us updated as best as he could without obviously tipping his hand. And they've been holding this information regarding this case close to the chest. There's been a gag order on this case from the district attorney, Cynthia Zimmer. I think just 2 days before this new information came out about the trial, I believe somebody wanted to release the CPS information pertaining to the boys, but that was knocked down. I said, nope, you can't do that. It'll compromise the case. We don't want nobody saying nothing until we get to court. A good move on her part and her team, making sure that nothing got out that could have been compromised and possibly thrown out in the trial. Laura Croft said, me too. I heard notifications didn't look. Okay. Yeah. So, and looking at that, I said, okay, so we at least have some map work that's done in regards to that. Let me see if I had anything else up here I wanted to, if I want to go there. Yeah, I think I can do this. I think I can do that. I'm going to share my entire screen with you. Hey, there we go. Y'all remember this? Type of one in the chat. You remember this? The infamous day. I think this was taken December 22nd of 2020. Them standing outside right there on Aspen Avenue, talking to KGET News, ABC 23 News. Byron Wang was out there along with their crew, questioning these people. And this is what dude looked like. I mean, when I first saw this, I said, wait a minute. Well, it must be cold. Well, why didn't he put on his damn jacket? You know, first glance, why didn't he put on his damn jacket if his hands were cold? Not unless there was something on his hands that he didn't want to reveal. Not unless he had something on them that he didn't want to reveal. I played these clips in slow motion, made sure I got some good screenshots because, hey, looks could kill. If you were to tell anything about this dude here, it was just his full entire demeanor, and body language. His conscious and subconscious mind was at play, trying to hold it, but giving it away, trying to conceal it, but giving it away. And the neatly tucked underneath his arms the entire interview. I think the interview was about at least anywhere between 11 to 15 minutes. I mean, they were out there. Family members were out there, not very happy. They were a part of that news interview, and they kept getting Trezell's attention. How in the hell could he have missed sight of Classic and Sincere? You're out in the backyard, you're throwing wood, the boys are in the backyard. Where in the hell could they have gone if you were outside that gate throwing wood? If they didn't go back into the house. That would have been the only place you would have found them if you were to go back into the house. But then you come out and say that they were gone. I went back in the house and asked my wife, "Did you see the boys?" She said, "No, they're outside." I went back outside. Oh, man. I said, "No, this is the dude's wrong. Dude's wrong. Dude's wrong." So they tried to convince the news crew as to what happened, what time it happened. And Jacqueline gave us a first tip to say that she believed, now they're there, since September, so this is December, almost 3 months, tried to make them believe that, yes, somebody definitely must have come and picked them up. Definitely. And the way she said that stayed in my mind. Why would you say that in a brand new neighborhood of maybe some people you didn't even know yet, other than by sight, knowing the surroundings of the neighborhood? Where on earth could they have been? Where are they today? Well, we know where Jacqueline is, and this is her attorney. I think this is Alexia, who's representing her. This is Trezell's attorney, which we will be hearing opening statements from them pertaining to their defense. Defense attorney, their press conference. They look lost. They look puzzled. But they had to step up and let the public know that they were going to be the trial attorneys representing Jacqueline and Trezell West. There were 3 postponements of this trial that should have taken place last year. Supposed to start, I believe, in May or June, then got pushed to October, then got pushed to January, and now we're here in March. Cynthia Zimmer, Kern County DA, I know she's definitely satisfied that this trial is now getting ready to start. And as for Jacqueline and Trezell West, what's to be expected? What is to be expected? I thought I had some other photos here I wanted to share with you. Let's see if I can find them. What is to be expected? I had some stuff here. I've shared a number of these photos from early before when I first started covering the case. How it all started. Kept my files up as best as I could. That's how it started with a missing billboard. Jennifer was out there. Jennifer Nobles, who's in the chat right now, was out there with the team searching. RJ's in the building. RJ, what's up? And was a part of the search crew looking for the boys. This is the uncle, the brother of Trezell, West. Didn't hear from him like we should have heard from him. He was not really representing the family. I think he's a big one of the big wigs in the NAACP out there. Just made commentary about all of the people that were complaining and bashing Jacqueline Trezell West's name. Leave my family alone. They're protesting in front of my mom and dad's house and yada, yada, yada. Man, that's all you got to say? You never saw him out in any one of the search parties out there. You never even seen the parents of Trezell West's out there searching, or Jacqueline, none of her relatives. Why? Why? Then you had Police Chief, California PD, John Walker, who was the first at the scene. He was contacted. They conducted a 2-week thorough sweep. 2 weeks. That's just for the house. And he gave his assessment. He's going to be at the trial. He was interviewed by Byron Wang for, I think it is ABC 23 News. When Byron Wang used to work there, now he's moved on. But I'm still sure that he's following the case. Interviewed Police Chief Walker in I think it was a 20-minute or 27-minute interview, asking him questions. And obviously the police chief couldn't tip his hand on a lot of the questions that he was asked of how is the investigation going on, and he gave the preliminary, standard, we're looking for the boys, and we've got canine, we've got cadaver, we've got tracking dogs, all of the preliminary stuff, but he couldn't get down to feeling out where his investigation was going. So he did his job, though. He did his job because he also believed that there was foul play. He tipped his hand when he said that. Some kind of foul play. And he wasn't going to be the one to leak any information to the folks that he believed was a part of the foul play. But he knew right then and there that there was some kind of foul play going on. This is Charles Pettis, the father, the biological father. He'll be there. He has an open civil case going on as to the reason why he never was contacted to get the boys before the adoption process was finalized. Whether he was in the position to do what he needed to do or not. Ryan Dean, the biological mother, out there on the scene during that press conference that Jacqueline and Trezell West that day spoke for the very first time as to what their story was about. She didn't believe them. She did not believe them at all. She believed that they did something to her children, straight up. So there was some very fine, sharp tips going into character, if you will. I took my notes. So, okay. So what kind of people are Jacqueline and Trezell West? Why would CPS, Department of Children's Services, even give these boys to them if there was an essence of them not being truly qualified as adoptive parents to take the boys to begin with? Foster care first, and then a quick adoption, what seemed to be a quick adoption. And none of the family members reached out and said, well, wait a minute, you're not giving the boys to, some strangers. We can take them. We can take them. Meanwhile, she was fighting because they took the kids from her. Allegations of something got out there, and they said, no, Ryan, not just yet. We need to put you through the program, and because if one of the children's legs were broken and you were at work, and it means that there's some kind of neglect on your part. And they put her through the ringer. So now she's fighting to get her kids back. Meanwhile, they're moving her children through the system. Up until an adoption was finalized, and she didn't know about it until it was too late. Till it was too late. How would you feel if, man. Anyway, Kern County Department of Children's Services, they will be at trial too, because they have all of the records, all of the documents pertaining to the boys from the time they took them from Ryan Dean all the way up until the adoption was finalized with Jacqueline and Trezell West. Now we're going to find out if there was some fudgy-wudgy going on with the paperwork. Find out if there was a true timeline involved in this. Blue Devil G, welcome. Yeah, Shell. Yeah, why did they take the kids in the first place? Because they felt that Ryan Dean had some form of neglect to have allowed one of the children to get hurt while one of the children were at a babysitter's house. Something happened, child got hurt, she was at work, she was notified at her job, she leaves her job to go to find out what happened to her child. The child is taken to the hospital, and boop, CPS was at the hospital taking notes. That's how all this stuff got started. In short, to the best of my recollection. And so, yeah, this is what they put her through on that side. You think she wanted her kids to be taken away from her to begin with? I'll find that out in court, folks. This is the house. I think it's on Potomac Street or Avenue. I think it's Potomac, if I'm not mistaken. This is Trezell West's parents' house. This is Trezell West's parents' backyard. And a car seat in the backyard. Tires and a big gaping hole. What the hell were they doing back here? I don't know. Because it doesn't look like they were building a swimming pool. Garbage dumpsters, everything. It made you think what was going on back here. This was the white van that Trezell West went searching for the boys in the day they went missing. This is on Aspen Avenue. Police confiscated this van at that time, took it in. This is Charles Pettis and Ryan Dean. One of their happier moments of being together. This is the Casa Loma apartments that we took a look at on the Google Maps. This was the location that the Wests moved from in order to go way out to California City, California. I've always believed that something happened here, which gave them reason and cause to move from here. Something happened to the boys here at this location, in and around this location, in some way, shape, or form. The boys was once here with them and 4 other children. And Jennifer said that there was a fire. There was a fire. Let me go back. Here, back in July of 2020. There was a fire in the backyard. The fire department was called. I think there was two fire department units were called. Fire. This was June, July. Wonder what that was about. And then Jacqueline and Trezell West were, I guess, waiting for pending approval on the loan that they needed to get in order to purchase the house in California City, California. So the Philip West, and I forget his mother's name. See if I can get it. Well, they will be at the trial because they will be asked questions by counsel. Family members of the boys, during the time of their news conference was out here, they were livid. I believe this woman here was one of the first foster care parents that was able to get the boys. Something happened and they were taken from her and then given to Jacqueline and Trezell West. What happened? We don't know. However, that will be mentioned in court. She will also give testimony. The aunt will also be there at court. She will give corroborating testimony. I believe she would. She's part of it. Charles Pettis will be there. He will give corroborating testimony. This is tragic. Oh, here they are. This is Philip. Wanda. There we go. Wanda. Thank you, Jennifer. I was like, what is this woman's name again? Philip and Wanda West. Happen to live here on Potomac Avenue. And as we saw the backyard, this is the location where the fire was. So they will be called to testify as to what happened. How'd the fire start? What was burning? And what the fire department report, along with police report, is going to mention about that fire. We're going to get those answers too. And for those of you just joining us, much love to you. I'm just going over a special highlight of the Jacqueline and Trezell West case. California City Boys court starts Tuesday, 9 a.m. Finally, and we'll get some answers now. We will most certainly get some answers. Yeah, definitely, Laura. That doesn't look safe for any children to play in. Take a look at that one more again. And this is where Trezell had said that the boys went on vacation. I'm not mistaken. Whether vacation here or vacation with Jacqueline's family was the excuse or the statement they made. That's going to come out in court. Whether that was true or not, they're going to tear this case up. And if it's not going to be televised on TV, I'm sure Court TV is going to have excerpts along the route of the trial to give us updates. I'll be bringing you those as they come about, following it carefully. But yeah, this is no place for children to play, especially 3 and 4-year-olds. But to find out what happened and why that fire occurred will be brought out. Let's see where I was here. Yeah, so yeah, they will be in court. When the question is that when the boys went missing, to perhaps Philip here, what were your actions? Did you ever go out to search for the boys? Wonder what he's going to say. Wonder what he's going to say. He looks hard up too. He looks hard up. You better not say nothing. I'll kick your ass. Type dude. Get the story straight. Yeah. We'll get it. We'll get the answers. Yeah, so we covered the map from Bakersfield to California City. This was a February, if I'm not mistaken. This was a February search. As soon as the case came back to Bakersfield, being released from California City, California, I said, uh-oh, they're backtracking. Just the way I was thinking at the time, because of the location of where they lived on Aspen Avenue. I said, if they're moving this case back to Bakersfield, something must have happened in Bakersfield. And sure enough, no sooner than, I said that, they had a huge search. This was one of the very first major searches that were out here in Bakersfield. You had LV United, We Stand, that search team, along with Miss Roro and A.B. Watchman. I think it was A.B. Watchman's colleague. He also does the news. Mike, I think his name is, he was out here. They didn't find anything. There's Rosanna Wills right there, the biological cousin of the two boys. And this is Laura from LV United We Stand. And they were out there from the wee hours of the morning until the depths of the afternoons, looking, searching in that huge field out there. Crenshaw was there too. Yep, that's right. Crenshaw, Matt, not Mike, Matt. That's right. From AV News Crew. Thank you, Jennifer. See, you were supposed to be here tonight. Supposed to be here tonight. Just going through this is helping me refresh my mind to the case. Sergeant Robert Pear was the lead investigator for the Bakersfield Police Department who received the case, was out there, and when leads and tips were coming into his office as to the reasons why they were out there. Website was created in reference to for those tips and communications regarding the possible whereabouts of the boys was developed. And this was very, very good because now you can, people had access to sending this information in without having to inundate the Bakersfield Police Department on their tip line. This was, I think it was Happy Birthday Classic. I did a special live with Miss Lady Queen Helping Hands. She did put together a nice mural, happy birthday mural, celebrated the Classic's birthday with her children during the time that she had her channel up and running. And we covered, I think, a birthday celebration for Classic on my channel as well. Photos of Trezell and Jacqueline West when they were together. Here they are here. Looks a whole lot different without a mask on, right? Both of them. Whole lot different without the mask on. I mean, you can look at him straight in the eye. Why on earth would they would have given those children to them in such a short order of time? I don't know. Only because they had 2 biological children and 2 other foster care children. That's a handful in and of itself. 4 of them. You got 2 biologicals, and now you're going to adopt 2 foster children, or foster care for 2 additional children, and then you're going to come around the corner and take on 2 more, which would be Classic and Sincere. You see the reason why they needed the house? Because you would need to have a large house for that type of family size. I don't know who the young one is in this picture, but this is Ryan Dean. And this is the West family crew. Jacqueline, Trezell, Philip, Wanda. I forget the brother's name who did nothing. One of the children, one of the boys here. I don't know if this is one down here or not. And they all look happy together. Acting crazy like families do. Yeah, it was COVID during that time. That's right, Melanie. Let's see. This was a receipt based on 10717 Aspen Avenue, California City, California. The house sold for 197,000 on September the 9th of 2020. Wow. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,798 square feet. Hmm. I forgot I had this receipt. 197,000. Forgot I had that receipt. What are we looking at here? The top of the roof of the house. Yeah, this was the picture of the excavation of the backyard during the time that California City Police and the FBI were investigating the location of where the boys went missing. And then we're digging up ground samples back here. Something gave them part of their investigation. I'm sorry. Top of the roof. And then we're back to where we started. I thought I had another file. I know I had some more pictures here. But yeah, I wanted to touch base on this. I most certainly wanted to touch base with this because of the proximity of time it's going to take between now and Tuesday to cover this case. But yes, and whoever sent that to me just now, thank you. I didn't even open it up. Thank you for the PayPal. Much love to you. And I'm delighted to hear about where we are with this case. It's been way, way, way too long coming. And every time you turn around, it got postponed. And then we had to wait again, and then got postponed. And then we had to wait again. I said, oh, man. I says, I don't know if defense is, playing this continuance game with the court to try to buy time, because it's an inundation, a preponderance of the evidence, if you will, that they have to go through in order to prepare to go to trial. The majority is circumstantial evidence. However, you have somebody in the second indictment that was a witness to what happened to the boys. Let's hope that's a smoking gun. One of the other children of the 6 was involved in the commission of a crime? I shook my head and I said, oh, you got to be kidding me. This can't be going in that direction now. But sure enough, reading that indictment tells you just that, along with manslaughter charges. So it's a double indictment in one case. A double indictment in one case. I've never heard of that. I said, okay, it looks like the cards are coming together for the DA. She's tightening up this ship tight. So let's get to trial. What's taking so long for trial? So defense counsel, they get all of these damn continuances, but now they seem to be prepared to make opening statements on Tuesday morning. And if it's some way, shape, or form televised, I'm going to grab it. I'm going to go live and I'm going to shoot it. I'm going to capture it. Hopefully they don't block it from being shared if it's going to be shared on any kind of social media platform, whether it be Facebook or from the courthouse itself. But we'll get it and we'll share it. They adopted 4 for sure. Okay. Just looking evil without the mask. That's right, Laura. I don't think CPS did their homework. And if they are short on foster parents, it'll show, yeah. It won't be televised, but I think you can try to hear it. Okay. If they're going to play audio, that'll be interesting too. But I'm sure that, once again, I believe that Court TV will at least cover some excerpts in covering the case. Aquahoma is in the building. How are you? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. I miss you and Leslie B. Miss Leslie B. Well, Molly 13, she's here. Carol Smith, she's here. Miss Justice is here, holding it down. I know you've been missing me. So you don't go live like you used to. In a busy schedule. I think I started tonight's live off just discussing just that aspect of it. But yeah, it's been pretty busy my way. Working on the roundtable, working there, building content for the Daniel Robinson case, covering the Shanquella Robinson case. Now getting ready to jump back into the West case. All this is picking up now. Summerwell's case on RJ's channel. He's been picking, he has never left that case, thank goodness. A very reliable source on his investigation. He was just on tonight. I was on with him when he had hit 300 subscribers. Now he's over 6. So he's doubling his numbers in a short period of time. RJ. So yeah. So I try to make as much time as I can without limiting my time. But obviously, like I said, I'll be swinging back. The seasons are changing. We are in the beginning of spring now. I'm just waiting for the temperatures to show up too. Still feels like winter out there. And start to get back on my Sunday track. If I don't come on during the week, which I used to, it'll be on a Sunday track like today. And either do a table talk and have a guest on, or come back as John Q Live just to catch up with everyone, or do a Q the Truth on Sundays. So you got 3 different program line schedules all on one day. So John Q's back on Sundays. I don't want to conflict with some of the other content creators I have much love and respect for, to coincide with their times that they decide to go live on Sundays. But so far, I'm just feeling it out. I know that RJ was live just before I went live, or during the time I went live, and noticed I had notification from his channel that he was live. I said, oh, I hope I don't bump anybody. So, but we'll get it straight. And let me ask you guys, since we're all together here, John Q, live. What's the better time, 7:30 or 8:30? 7:30 or 8:30? I want you to post the time in the chat. Let's see if we can take a vote, and then I'll go with your vote. How's that? Rather than me trying to figure it out. And this would be Eastern time. Eastern time. John, if you go live, I commit to supporting you live. Since I'm putting the time in, you better show up. Linda Best says 7:30. Shell says 7:30. Sweet Pea, 8:30. Uh-oh. Candy Cane says 7:30. Aquahoma says 8:30. RJ says 8:30. I've been trying to go live around 6 on Sunday. Okay. The fight between 7:30 and 8:30. What about 8 o'clock? Any 8 o'clocks in there? We could do 7:30, 8 o'clock, or 8:30. I know everybody's in different time zones. That's why I'm asking, because I want to be able to jump on where it's convenient. You're 1 hour ahead of me. 8 o'clock. Lady Love says 8 o'clock. Oh, now we're getting 8 o'clock. Uh-oh. I'm here regardless, Shell said. Okay, so we still got a little bit of a... Okay, Linda Best changes from 7:30 to 8. Okay, so we got some 8s. Aquahoma says 8. Shell says, I'm here regardless. D-Love says either time. It'll work out for me. It'll work out. Miss Justice says it doesn't matter to me. I'm here. You know that, John. Yeah, anytime. No, I hear you. Okay, so we'll shoot for Sundays at 8. We'll just shave a half-hour difference, but Sundays at 8. I'll stay on with you till about 10. I'll try. I'll try 8 p.m. or 8:30, drama-free. Okay, good. I'm starting to feel comfortable with the 8 o'clock slot. Okay, because I know if Boss does anything, he'll usually go either early or he'll go late. I think a lot of his programs end up going late. Miss Lady Love does Fridays and Saturdays on her channel, so I'm good there too. I'll be good there too. So yeah, RJ, if he goes on in the middle of the week, that's fine. If he goes on Fridays or during the weekend, early at 6, that's good. So we're still good. We're still good. 54 Keys goes live when we do the round table. We usually schedule that either on a Friday or Saturday, so I'll still be good for Sunday. I'll still be good for Sunday. So yeah, let me see if I had anything else I wanted to share with you. I wanted to get that out though. Trial is on Tuesday. We covered the map. I didn't show you the SS. Let me see. Stop my screen share here. Let me see if I can find something. I like the way y'all chop it up in the chat. Now we got a time and a date. And like I said, it could be any one of the 3 programs that you know that I do. So we don't have to go back and forth too much. Let me put a filter on that. Okay. So we are up to date on the West case. All right. So if I'll tell you what, we'll do this before we get ready to shut it down for tonight. I'm glad to be back. I had to try to find some time to cut into my schedule just to do this. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. You'd like to come up for share a couple of thoughts? You know how I work it. You know how I do it. We can do that for a little bit. And then we'll get back to our regularly scheduled programming. Well, oh yeah. Once again, thank you for the love coming through the door here. My goodness. Thank you for the love. The little Cash App came in and a PayPal came. Thank you. See, that tells me you miss me, right? Is that what that's saying? That's what that's saying. Okay. All right. I promise I'll be here. I'll be here. I won't stay away too long. I'll be here. Oh, wait a minute. I know what I wanted to show you. I know what I wanted to show you. I know what I wanted to show you now. Hold on, RJ. Oh man, I came across this. Thank you. Thank you. Wait a minute. Let me grab it. You are not going to believe what I just. Oh, you are not going to believe this. Let me see if I can find it. What do you think? Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Maybe I put it up top. Because I know I saved it. I'll look through all of this. Kern County, Cook County, Kings County. Oh, wow. Rosemont. Oh, my God. I got to clean this out. FBI Charlotte. Just give me a second, folks. Give me a second. Give me a second. I got all this stuff here. You can imagine what my computer looks like. Tyree Nichols. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. Felicia Johnson. Trezell and Jack. Okay. No. Black. Oh. Did I cover that with you guys? I think I did. All right. I know I could. Okay. Something. There it is. Is this it? News. Let's see if this is it. Let's see if this is it. One picture I needed to show you. Okay, that's the story. I looked at this and I said, you got to be kidding me. Oh, they even got a video on this? Sorry about that. RJ, sorry to keep you waiting, man.
Oh no. Hey, look, you were researching something. You were in the zone. You're all good, man.
You know, when I get in my zone, I'm digging because I want to pull it up. And I said I had the damn article, and then I said, okay, and I got to find it again.
Oh,
good to see you.
You and I both know so well about that zone. You get in there, and it's difficult to get. It's a highway with very few exits. You don't get out that often.
Absolutely.
But good to see you. Glad you're back. We always need male voices in the true crime community, especially talking about missing kids and what happens to kids.
Oh yeah, well definitely. Well, you know, you got the ladies out there; they're holding it down tight. Miss Lady Love is holding her channel down nice and tight. You know, she's got the lounge, and she's got. I mean, she comes up with great topics and to talk about her last live. She had her husband on there and everything. So she's busy on her channel. I like listening to the ladies a lot too.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I do as well. I do as well. But I fear we did lose one of the ladies that's been in true crime tonight. So I believe that one of them has quit and was making that announcement tonight.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
was it that serious?
I don't know. I don't know the full circumstances behind it, but I'm just saying I believe that one of the women have. So it's always sad when you try to put out your heart out there and try to be a positive voice in a horrible situation and represent the kids well. And you, as you said, I'm stuck on, or I'm stuck with
Right,
Summer
yeah.
Wells. The twists and the turns just keep going with it. There's no other way to say it, but the parents keep twisting things.
Oh yeah. Well, you can't believe anything that comes out of Don and Candace's mouth.
Not anymore.
They started out that way.
It's gotten worse. It's gotten worse.
Tell you put the man in jail, you think he would learn something, and almost a year later, and he still come out and do the same thing. You think it would have learned something?
There's a such thing as leaving work at work and having your home life at home. You don't always need to do your job at your home life.
Well, I mean, as far as they're concerned, I'm glad you're still covering it. See, because I can come over to your channel and then we can chop it up over there. But when you brought up, I don't know if you all heard this, RJ is in this deep. And I was listening while I was driving. I catch you, but like I said, I'll listen while driving, but I will not chat or type and try to do all the extra and end up hitting somebody while messing myself up. Anyway.
Can't blame you. Can't blame you for doing that.
Yeah, you got into a segment, I said, that made absolute sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, he's on to something because I thought about that pay less supermarket timestamp. And how long they stayed in that supermarket with Summer and Hunter outside in 85-degree heat, waiting for them to come out the store. And she's wearing long sleeve top, long sleeve bottoms. She just came back from Warrior State Park from swimming in the pond for 20 minutes, give or take 30 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's all cooped up in the car in the heat with those clothes on for that great span of time. Could she have suffered heat exhaustion or stroke?
Yeah. So you're right on with it. What I believe, what this really all boils down to with Summer Wells, is that there was a accident, and the TBI knows it. The parents deny it, but the evidence of what TBI knows is that what Don Wells said himself to the lab. They had a stack of files. They told him it was all cases that a child had suffered a sudden illness or an accident, and the parents covered it up.
Mm-hmm. See, when you say it like that, it begins. Did you hear what? And I'm sure the chat did. Did you hear what RJ just said? That feels, if you could sense it right, that feels more in line with what most certainly happened than anything else that we've been given from day one about this whole damn case. And they just don't want to come clean about it at all. No, take no responsibility for what happened to Summer. Only at that time, though, only to stand a chance to have CPS come and remove the boys. But you see, that came and went already. So what are you still holding on to? Or
Ra the
holding on?
creator, Ra the creator, they've never came out and said that was blood. They never came out and said that was anything. It could be a shadow for all we know on the seatbelt, or a spot that was previously something spilled on there and
Right.
stained it. We don't know what that was on that seatbelt, unfortunately.
Yeah, and nothing ever came out of whether the Skittles were tainted, whether the Crush orange soda that was in the back seat with her was tainted.
Well, there's a possibility that could have been something, a drink mix from the hippie house, or it could have been that it was a soda that was been in the car for so long that it wouldn't have been good to drink, just in general, because it's flat. It was hot the previous days.
Right.
So
and then the Benadryl. Then you
Yep.
brought up Benadryl, and I said, "Damn, okay."
Melatonin as well.
And I said, "Okay." When you put some of those pieces together, they fit far better than a lot of the broken pieces that we got.
So the live I did tonight is a little bit outside the normal of what I believe. It's actually not what I believe. I'll be straight out honest. I believe it was the accident, the sudden illness that had happened.
I'm with you on that.
But if you had heard earlier this week, and I'm sure some of you, your audience here may be aware, Mary was on the lab earlier this week and had a rather interesting interview.
Oh, wow. I know I've missed a lot.
in which she says that she believes that Summer was sold.
Now, see? Now, here she comes with her statement.
So I dug into that tonight, or a little bit ago, and I laid out a case where that is a distinct possibility. It may not be what I believe, but it is possible.
Well, taking a look at how the Wells lived, taking a look at the breadwinner, taking a look at the homemaker, taking a look at how the kids were, the surroundings of the kids at 110 Ben Hill Road, the things that we saw in and outside of the house. Money was a big issue for these people.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Summer's teeth, her hair. You just start to put together the pictures that say, okay, would money ever be an issue for the Wells family? Yes or no? And the answer is yes. The house didn't even look like a house. When I first saw it, I said, that's a big shed. I said, no, this is where they lived. And Chris McDonough went in there and I said, oh my God. Then he went downstairs and I said, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Where the hell is he going?
So you're going to,
until he took us there.
I'm going to trip you up for a second here. One of our favorite roads to talk about. You can take Horton Highway.
I knew you were going back there. See, I
almost
knew you were going back to
almost,
near my Chimney Top Loop. I knew it.
Almost halfway to Newport, Tennessee. Now, I'm mentioning that to you and only you because I laid out a lot of information tonight about Newport, Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and check out your live tonight.
And I, in my live, said I'm not going to talk about that town, but in that live. But I think that there's some important information that people may want to consider. I'm not saying Mary is right. I'm not saying Mary is wrong. But the whole video I did tonight was on the premises that Mary is right. And it's information that I've known and I've sat on. And frankly, because it's just not safer as being a local for Tennessee to talk about. But I went into it tonight.
Oh, good, good, because I'm going to definitely catch up on your live right after this live, because I knew that you were live and I said, oh man, I hope. Let's see, he's already into an hour. Oh, why did I set it up at 7:30? I said, okay,
Yeah,
just
I
go ahead
had
and just go ahead and do it, and then go
no,
ahead
it's
and
fine.
readjust your time and everything else like that, because that was one of the hardest things that I had to try to deal with was time scheduling because of the different case loads that I'm working,
Hmm.
and then also, I've got a life too.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I get emergency calls like I did the last live I was supposed to go on, and it was a big system. It was a snow system that was just north of where I was, about 40 miles north. And all of a sudden, I started getting emergency calls. So I've got no heat. My lights went out. What's going on? And I'm going, oh, okay, because I do side work, you know. Uh,
Hmm.
and I said, okay, why tonight? Y'all don't want me to go live or something like that? And the calls kept coming in. And I said, okay, damn, I hate to do this. And that's one thing. When I schedule a live, I go to work because I got work to show. But that day was just blew me off. And I said, oh man, I hope people are not mad at me. And I'm sure people said, well, if John Q cancels, it's got to be something going on. That's why I text you, I text boss, I text a couple of people, with that information. So if you were looking for me, at least,
Well,
you
no,
know that it wasn't me. Something happened to me, but something I had to take care of.
well, no,
So,
I was giving you when I saw you in the chat, I didn't know the circumstance behind it, and I was giving you the opportunity to jump on panel because I do know you do actually like talking about Summer Wells and keeping up to date on it, on what's going on. Um,
right.
Tonight I did spend a lot of time on a map, and something I never ever before put this together until just yesterday. Go
Mhm.
ahead, if you would, John. Just give your audience a little bit of teaser, if you would. Go to greyhound.com, the bus service, greyhound.com. Your departure city, when you have it up, is Greenville, Greeneville, Tennessee.
Greyhound.com. Okay, so I'm going one way. I'm coming from
Greenville, Greeneville. Thank you, 45. I appreciate that.
Greenville.
Go to Knoxville.
We don't know. We're in North Carolina?
No, this is Tennessee. G R
Tennessee.
E
Okay, okay,
E
okay,
N
okay.
E.
Hold on. Comma. Okay, two.
Knoxville.
Oh, damn it. It cleared it. Try it again. Coming from Greensville,
And
Tennessee.
hang on, let
10.
me type the cities in the back chat here so you have them.
That would be Memphis, Tennessee? No,
Greenville,
no, no, no,
Tennessee
no.
to Knoxville.
Greensville to. I must be on the wrong damn site because this is not working.
You want me to share my screen and do it real quick?
Yeah. Bring it up on your side and I'll share it. How's that? RJ wants to share something with us, folks.
Now I'm setting this just so everybody knows where I'm setting this up. I'm setting it for a weekday because it was a Tuesday. Okay. So I'm picking a Tuesday date so everybody sees this.
Yeah, we got RJ's link in the chat for those that'd like to go over there right now and subscribe so that this way you can stay on the Summer Wells case. And we're going to go ahead and share.
There you go, John.
Okay.
Greenville, Tennessee to Knoxville, Tennessee. One departure time.
All right, so we've got that.
One departure time.
Mm.
Does that time stand out to you for some reason, John?
Departure time.
Down at the bottom, right to the left of where it says 2199.
Knoxville bus station.
Keep going left. Right above where it says
Greenville.
Greenville.
Yeah, Greenville. What? Quick stop?
Right above that. What's the time?
5:30.
The bus leaves Greenville, Tennessee, 5:30 p.m. Don
Right.
Wells keeps saying everything began at 5:30 p.m. About a month ago, Don Wells made a Freudian slip and said that he was 50 miles from home.
Oh, man.
This bus station is 46 miles.
Close proximity.
46 miles to 110 Ben Hill Road.
He made that kind of a slip up.
Mm-hmm. Yes, instead of saying about 45 minutes from home, he said, and he was angry. And most people, when they get angry, they lose track. They slip up when they get angry. When they get their emotions riled, they mess up.
Yeah, because
he said he was about 45, 50 miles from home. This is just a little detail in the whole puzzle.
Greensville. Oh, man. Wait a minute. So his story is that he was out in Jonesboro.
Correct.
Okay. His location was never specified, but you would think he would be working for Tucker Drywall in Jonesboro.
Right. The complex was called the Meadows.
The Meadows, right. Okay, correct.
But the time frame of when Don Wells tries to tell everybody it took him to get home, the Meadows doesn't work.
Right.
The Trucker Drywall office location works.
What is that, 30, 35 minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
Within 5 minutes, give or take 5 minutes, the Trucker Drywall location works. The office location, the boss's home works. The Meadows does not work.
Thank you, Miss 45. She just up to your channel.
Yes, I did see that, and I thank you again.
Drinking sugary soda in heat is not good. Did someone slip? Did someone slips on the thing? Yeah. A lot of that stuff wasn't looked at. So, 35 minutes, because his first story was about 25 minutes that he seemed to have gotten home, going, 100 miles an hour, almost flying off the road and all this other stuff. But I always put him in that vicinity of when he did arrive back at Beach Creek, close to his home. On that drive, where he takes us to the shed right off of Beach Creek. Rather than go to the residence, he goes to the shed. And that bothered me to say, why would he go there? He never gave a good explanation as to the reason why he went there. Never told us either that he mentions that during the time he was on his way home with Candace on the phone. Well, if you're up at the house, I'm gonna go take a look at the shed. Okay. Type shit, and let him then drive to the shed. It goes down where the creek is. He sees the boys to the left, the neighbor to the right. Doesn't specify what neighbor that is. He doesn't take his boys with him to say, come on, boys, you're coming with me. We're going back to the house. He gets back in his car, as illustrated on the videotape that I showed when I covered Chimney Top Loop, and he goes to the house.
Mm-hmm.
Then it cuts way over to Horton Highway. And I said, where the hell is he? Until he got to that corner before he made that right turn, it said Chimney Top Loop and Horton Highway. I said, wait a minute, let me look that up on the map. And I was driving through this area, 40, 50 miles an hour on a narrow ass road where only one car could possibly handle that road. And he's blasting through there, showing us, well, this is where they could have taken her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, why would you think that, Don? Why would you think that?
Real quick, answer Oklahoma's question. From Knoxville, this bus route will go actually to Nashville. It actually comes in from Virginia, Richmond, and it used to have a bus stop. Now get this. It used to have bus stops in Bristol and in Johnson City. They've been closed since I don't remember the exact date. The reason that Greenville, even if these two other locations were open, the reason Greenville would make more sense than the other two locations is one is at a transit center that they have camera surveillance, and that's in Johnson City. The other one in Bristol is a block and a half, and this half a block is a wide open parking lot from the Bristol Police Department. Greenville is a convenience store that only has cameras on their pumps and the storefront, not where the buses park. So Mary could be right. It's what I said. Tonight.
Well, I mean, they got that side business going on out there. You know what I mean? With the little red flags all around it to let you know where specific type people are.
I went into that tonight.
No, I'm definitely going to check it out.
I went into that. Yeah. I explained in multiple for a couple of different reasons why Greenville is that important, and as well as Newport, Tennessee, is extremely important. And despite the rumor that has been going around the past week, St. Clair means nothing.
Yeah, so Candace has been keeping quiet these days, huh?
Oh, she's had to.
See how they interchange with each other? He goes to jail, she comes out. He comes out of jail, then she goes back in the corner.
Yeah, right. Basically. No, she's actually been on that one channel you and I were on one night that made the left-hand turn to Albuquerque. She's been hanging out with them.
Oh, my God. I'll tell you. But Candace knows what happened. Directly.
I 100% agree with that.
Directly. She knows what happened. And when you start to take those little fine pieces that you were chopping at and start to groom them into that timeline during the course of the day, it begins to add to the timeline something that should be there that would make sense for
Mm-hmm.
it to be there. You know, you're going to put your kid in school clothes that she was supposed to wear
On the
for her
first day of
first day
school.
of school,
Yep.
coming out of a damn swimming pond
Yep.
because you had nothing else better that she could have worn. Come on.
Oklahoma, that's an amazingly excellent point.
Mm-hmm.
You don't look for something when you know where it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, John, I've been on your channel enough that you've picked up on there were certain phrases I've used all along to explain things that I wasn't ready to say fully because that I knew from being in the Tri-Cities, more specifically in the Kingsport area,
Mm-hmm.
that I was hearing, I got told, I found information on. And I wasn't the person that was, I'm going to go ahead and jump out this information. I'm using it the way I want to phrase it. I'm going to say it that way. And when push comes to time, if I feel it's the right time, I'll explain that phrasing.
Right. No, I get you. And
Tonight,
she was on Daisy's channel.
mm-hmm. Yes, that's the channel I was referring to.
Yeah. Okay. No, I see. Oklahoma had said the farm lady. I said, I was on that channel. I was on that channel before too.
Mm-hmm. So tonight I went into explaining why I refer to them as being a trading post property. So there's a lot of information on there about that relating to what happened on 15th potentially.
Mm-hmm.
So it explains a lot about the Wells property.
Okay. Yeah, because a lot of everything emanates around 110 Ben Hill Road.
Oh yeah.
Lots of it. That's why Chris Madonna said he didn't leave the house. I never left the house. Always went around the house and around that area, and then all these people who inserted themselves. What's her name? 125 Ben Hill.
JSB.
Thank you. Yeah, her running her mouth. In the wee hours of the freaking morning. I said, I wonder what the hell that's about.
Well, I personally,
ever since the marathon.
I personally never left Ben Hill Road, not specifically the 110 property, 125 property. I've never left the Ben Hill Road. I've always felt that there's more than just 110 Ben Hill Road being involved in this.
Yeah. Because the more you looked at 110, the more you see a lot about 110, where it is, how it's situated in terms of the other residents in that vicinity. How far back does Limestone Branch go back? Ben Hill Road go back? Simpson Road goes over? Beach Creek in and of itself, how far from the church to the south, church to the north, into Sullivan County,
Mm-hmm.
All of that in the surrounding areas. And then when Donald did that drive through off of Horton Highway to take us to Chimney Top Loop, I said, okay, 17 minutes. Wait a minute. Didn't cut through this sucker. You can get over here in 17 minutes. And what's over here? We found a church, that's way back at the top end of Chimney Top Loop. That's got its own little cemetery. It's got its own little graveyard. Little price. Said, okay, well, is it burial? Is it a cemetery back here too? And covered the roads. And then when Donald made that abrupt stop on Chimney Top Loop at a specific location, at a specific house, he pauses and he actually turns the camera in the vicinity of where the house sat.
Right.
I said, what did you do that for? Who lives there? And then I started checking out, information on, those certain type people may live in and around the area of Horton Highway and Chimney Top Loop, but more on Horton Highway because I found a handful of them.
Right. Oh yeah. And that video we're talking about, it's catching fire, and people are paying attention to it again
Oh, good.
because you and I started talking about it, and then another creator and myself started talking about it, and it's actually catching people's attention again. Why? Why Chimney Top Loop?
Yeah.
And it's like I mentioned I texted you one night and I was like, hey, remember that video about Chimney Top Loop? And
Yeah. I saw that video, by the way.
be prepared for people to start targeting and looking into that and looking at who's talking about it again, because it's catching fire again.
Yeah, I've always said they should have a search team to cover that Chimney Top Loop area.
Mm-hmm.
Why they never did, why they never brought it up, why they never put a search party back there. It's beyond me.
What bothers me the most about them never searching that and never even searching the mountains is that the owner of the property is a group holding, for lack of a better word. Forget exactly how it's phrased, but they have stables of horses. Not just a stable, they have stables of horses. And they were willing to put their horses. Now, the owners actually live in Florida. They weren't willing to put their horses that are really good trail horses in carriers and truck them up from Florida to help the police search. And the police never took them up on using horseback.
Mm-hmm.
They could have gotten up in the mountains. They could behind the wells. They could have. There was so much more would have been covered than what was.
Right. But I just wanted to give just folks a visual as to what this Chimney Top Loop situation is all about. Most of you have been following me knows exactly where this area is. For those that are brand new, wanted to give you just a little bit of an idea of how far things are situated. Because if you take a look at where this red balloon is, Chimney Top Loop, and let me see if I can find it. Oh, why don't I just do this so people can see it? Okay, John. So people can see it. I can take a look at the distance. Now you can see it a whole lot better. And 17 minutes. 110 Ben Hill Road, cutting through the holler, hitting Horton Highway, and coming right here to this location. And then taking us through this entire area. I mean, he connected, made that right, and started blasting through this area 45, 50 miles an hour. The truck was shaking it. I mean, you could hear it while he's trying to talk about the people who may have snatched Summer might have come through here. And I said, well, why on earth would they come through there? The church that I was talking about is right here at the top end. Let me see. Top end. It's got to be right here. Let me see. Did I go down too far? Maybe
I think you did.
Yeah. So I'm going. Here we go. A little church sign. We go right down over here. A little church sign. You take this road and then pull up from here You see Chimney Top. Oh, hold on, folks. Get out of here. Huh? Sorry about that. I'm tapping too fast.
Oklahoma, yeah, it is. It's there used to be actually a road that there was a yes, exactly about Oklahoma. There was a road that went from Ben Hill over the mountain over to Chimney Top Loop. However, the road had a rock slide. They never cleared the rock slide. They just went ahead and closed it and said it's a private road.
Here it is. That little same area leads up to this Chimney Top Cemetery. There's a little cemetery back here. And I kept my eye on that. I got the Tennessee property viewer. I said, okay, who owns this? Who owns the house across the street? Who owns a house down near them? So we got owners here, but he came around this bend. I don't know if it was Sugar Hollow. Wait a minute. Hold on. I think it was. It had to be because it was just around the corner. He came and went right here. See if I can get down there. Chimney Top is sometimes when you drop down here. Okay, so he came this way. Like the other map better.
I know Google Maps has made some changes lately, and it's been a little.
Yeah, I can't get there. All right. It won't let me fly down here. But he came down past Sugar Hollow Lane and got right about over here where Dark Hollow is. And there's this house right there. Let me see if I can get down there now. Come on.
There it is.
There it is. That. I love it when a plan comes together. He stopped right here. Come on, don't do that. No, I'm going backwards. I want to go forward. Thank you. Go forward. One more game. Come on, one more game. No. Go forward. All right, but this is the house. Let me see if I can back up a little bit. Why is the arrow pointing backwards? Look at it. You see
I
this?
see it. Oh no, I see it. I see it.
Pointing backwards. It's like, he's getting closer. We have to sabotage him. But this is the house. And I said, okay, who lives here? Why did he stop here? This had high foliage. All this was grown in. All of this from the side.
And not to mention RV parked alongside the building.
Yeah. So let me see if I can drop him down in front of it and then go backwards. Because you got to see what he was looking at. Okay. Now, this stupid thing is doing the same thing.
It just
I'm
doesn't
serious.
want you to sit.
Like I want to go 10 miles forward and it's pushing me back. It is. Okay, go forward. Okay. All right. Right here. And that bothered me and it stayed on my notes. And I'm saying, why on earth did he stop here? Who lives here? What is this all about? So the first thing in my mind, I said, it's got to be one of those SO guys. Perhaps. Then I said, no, maybe not. Maybe he knows somebody from his job. Perhaps. Okay. Who else would you think of? Who else would Don be thinking about coming through here, this Chimney Top Loop area, showing us something out of all places he could have gone, but he comes here and he makes a stop right here. And that bothered me.
Oh, let's just go ahead and throw in there. It could be a fellow dealer or a fellow user.
Right, right. Until you get down to the end of this, all the way down to the end, because this is 228 point, I think it's 228 point something acres
Mm-hmm.
of land here. Look at this, folks. Look how huge Chimney Top Loop is. This is 228 acres
That
all up
one
in here.
person owns.
One person owned, yes. And then you get down here to the corner of Chimney Top and Horton Highway. Oh, come on now. Take me there. Thank you. Driving past here, he gets the way down here. Then comes to this freaking house that's all boarded up and whatnot. And there were stories coming out of here. There was another YouTube content creator who actually took the drive down here. Two of them, that, from what I remember, Scott E. Skulls took the drive down here, and there was some stories about this house that they were doing some nefarious stuff in this house, and it's right off of Horton Highway. So if you got a dealer here, let's just say hypothetically, allegedly, you got a dealer over here, you've got buyers coming from all over the place in and around this area. So they're commanding a very good location for any kind of trafficking here, if there was any kind of trafficking going on. And then you see this access point that goes right into, well, there's a gate there now. He did say that there's a gate here, but according to this Google map of 2008, there was no gate here. And this goes into the property that covers 228 acres open. Then I said, well, wait a minute. If it's open there, would it be opened? Where did I go? Would it be open here? I took my little guy. I said, okay, guy, let's see what we can do down here. Let me get my bearings. Time I come down here. Yeah, the gate is on the left. Okay, so this wire gate, I'm following this wire gate and I'm going, okay, let me see how, I hope I'm going in the right direction. Maybe not. No, I'm not.
I was gonna say Google Maps will let you know in a moment which direction it wants you to go.
Yeah. But let me see. Maybe I was going in the wrong direction here.
I think you might have been.
Let's see. No, there's a dip over here. I think I'm going in the right direction here. Because when I travel this road, I said, okay. And I got to this certain point. I think it's here. Yeah. That's where the electrical tower was. And this is also an access point to the same 228 acre property. There's 2 points on this side and 2 points on Chimney Top Loop on the other side. So I said, well, why haven't they searched this area at all? No mention of it at all, period. Nothing. And this would be an ideal location to do a stop and drop. If you needed to do a stop and drop, even, get out the car and do a number 1 or number 2 and not be bothered by anybody, But this is all isolated here. And this is an access point because you'd have people from the utility company that would have to have access to do any kind of service work on these electrical lines that run way across Chimney Top Loop, over the property, and then beyond. But this would have been an ideal location for drop and stop. And so I kept it in my notes and I said, okay, I'm going to keep my eye on Chimney Top Loop. Hopefully it'll show up somewhere, and they may decide to turn around and do a search here. Because when you take a look at the whole terrain of it, it's absolutely ideal. Horton Highway. But to see the connection between Chimney Top Loop and the location where they live, which is 17 minutes, and then tying together her getting in her mother's Suburban or the truck and him coming home, could they have met somewhere to do a trade-off? And it's possible because is Route 81 right next door. Right there.
So yeah, the basic idea of what you're just presenting being on Chimney Top Loop, I made reference to being a different location or a couple different locations that it could have had that trade-off point could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody would have thought twice about somebody carrying or holding the hand of a child going into a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the information that we've been knowing, but it really does need to be talked about Newport.
Yeah. Most certainly. But no, I'm just glad that you're still covering the Summerwell's case on your channel. I did want to just, if you could stay with me.
Sure.
If you could stay, I'm going to drop the link one more time. Miss Lady Love, I still see you in the room. If you want to jump up here and say hello, you can. You can. Okay, what do I want to do? Okay, yeah. That's right. I found this article. And I said, oh, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. And sure enough, there was a YouTube news clip of this article I'm going to share with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you talk about nefarious people, and then you talk about the people that, you know, we grow up from being kids and learning about, you know, what authority is, you know, police and doctors and lawyers and teachers and, you know, all the different professions and everything else like that. And then I come across this article. I'm going to share it. And I said, you got to be kidding me. What people have to be so mindful of, especially when it comes to their faith. Their faith. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me see if I can do this. You see this dude here? Let me take this down.
Yes, I do. Sorry, I had myself muted a moment.
Okay. Now this guy, let me drop this down. You got to see the whole thing. There we go. What's the title say? ID theft, fraud, and prison. The wildlife of a bishop robbed at the pulpit. Now this guy, Lamar Whitehead, is the bishop sitting in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Wearing Gucci.
Why?
Church. It's a church, man. It's a church.
Why?
Wearing Gucci. And I said, okay. I said, you got me. You got me. He says, the police said Bishop Lamar Whitehead was robbed of a fortune in jewelry. The crime caught on camera, but the focus soon turned to him and his past run-ins with the law. So I said, okay, Michael Wilson did this article on August 5th of 2022. I started reading, About his background. This is inside his church in Brooklyn, seated in a chair that looked more like a throne and dressed in a slim cut banana yellow suit by Gucci. Bishop Lamore Whitehead prepared to deliver the sermon to his followers. Well, to his followers had been waiting a long week to hear. It had been 7 days since the obscured little congregation, Leaders of Tomorrow International Ministries, was robbed by three armed and masked men during a service on July 24th. The heist caught on a live stream video. The robbers relieved Bishop Whitehead and his wife of many chains, rings, watches, and other jewelry, a total value of which is in dispute, but is estimated to be as high as $1 million, and escaped outside Remsen Avenue in Brooklyn. Look at this.
The last time I was actually at a church, forgive me for the way I put that, it was my understanding that the minister was actually expected to wear a plain, humble suit. Or in nowadays, churches are saying, okay, it's perfectly fine to wear jeans and a polo.
Uh-huh.
But still, no designer wear, very plain, an outward display of what humility is while he's delivering his message or her message.
Uh-huh.
Not this bling like you're putting on a televised TV fashion show wearing Gucci and who else knows what designer name.
It's crazy. But as you begin to continue reading in this article now, this guy has got a record. Now, in short, I'll break it down. In short, his past troubles started when he was in jail for nefarious stuff he did in Brooklyn. He ends up going to jail for about 10 years. He's in prison and he is saved, let's just say. I'm going to be as delicate as I can be without beating him up. He's saved. He comes out, and the first thing he does is he ends up developing a congregation for this church. Let me backtrack that 10 years. How he got there was that he was a mortgage broker. And what he basically did was he helped people to finance buying their first home. All right. Now, the information as a mortgage broker, they get all of your personal private information, bank, social security, date of birth, place where you live, all this information, and it's databased in the broker's office. So what he decided to do was to take out loans and get credit card accounts under those people's names whom were his clients. And that's how he got busted. Because eventually those clients called the police. They made a police report, and they looked at their particular situation and where they believed that their information could have been compromised. And obviously everything started leaning back toward this guy. And sure enough, they found him guilty of identity theft, fraud. I mean, this guy took hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he's in court proceedings for that. He goes to jail. He comes back out. He's saved. Now he comes back and starts to collectively begin to build the group for the church. It sits over a storefront. RJ, you still with me?
I am. I just had myself muted. I was following along.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, he's got these poor people in Brooklyn. Poor people in Brooklyn now tithing to his church, and tithing is never explained properly as it should be. He's got these people committed. You're sitting these people down in private consultation, committing to understanding their income, their monthly income. He would do a budget with these people, just like a mortgage broker. Sit down, okay, you spend this for household, this for your car, this for, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He would be able to isolate how much money they made and what they should tithe. Now, the traditional 10% tithe is pretty much what they ask for. This is what you're supposed to tithe for the Lord, so to speak. The Lord is nowhere near that consultation, by the way, but that's what they say.
Right. Okay. It goes back to Greek and what the word tithe means, which is actually 10%.
Right. It's 10% of your produce, of what you did on the farm, of what, you produce from the ground. It's an old story, but, they relate this now to money. Anyway, long story short, and designate the amount of money he isolated the tithing from and made that a mandatory gift. Mandatory. This is what you're supposed to give every Sunday. And if we took this lump sum and broke it into 4 Sundays in a month, this is what the envelope should look like. Okay.
Oh, dear goodness.
Obviously, these people are spiritual. And if that's what the Lord wants, that's what the Lord gets. And he did that to, I think it was 24 to 27. I can't call them parishioners, but members of this small little church he was developing. He's making a fortune. And hence buying his clothes, driving an expensive automobile, all this stuff. And a lot of us see this type of evidence elsewhere. It's not just in Brooklyn. Okay. And he's standing up there in Gucci, $2,000 shoes, putting this this ministry together under the prosperity gospel, that he's learned from some of the prosperity preachers on TV who's got those multi-million-dollar followings. I'm not going to mention any names. All you got to do is take a look at who's doing stuff out of a stadium or a convention hall. Those are the ones I'm talking about. And they're the ones telling folks to tithe all the time. There used to be one, I'll name drop him. There used to be one called Hilton. I used to see him on TV all the time. Guy would be sitting down in his office and everything and telling people, we want you to gift $1,000. I said, what did he say? We want you to gift $1,000. This guy is out of the South. I don't know if he's from Tennessee or one of the Carolinas. I think it's more like Tennessee anyway. And I'm going, he's literally asking people for $1,000. Damn, he's bold. I want you to do it right now. I want you to pick up the phone, and I want you to pledge your $1,000. And the Lord will be good to you and all this other stuff. And he says, I want you to place your hand and put it on the TV. I'm going to put my hand up against this camera here, and we're going to pray together and all this other stuff. And I'm saying, are people buying this kind of, Sure enough.
Yep. And let me guess, he was saying you're going to feel energy through the screen, but little does everybody know that the old TVs, the screen had actually a static bubble.
Oh,
if you touched it, you could feel energy.
I could not believe this, and he wasn't the only one doing it. Turn the channel again, there'd be another one back to back on that one. Turn the channel again. I said, yeah, they're going after $1,000 each now. These are the ones that need the Lear jets. These are the ones that need the big mansions. These are the ones that drive those Bentleys. These are the ones dressing in Gucci and all this other stuff. So this is what he was teaching. I said, you got to be kidding me. I said, hadn't they learned from many, 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 many years ago when they were doing this stuff? They only found out that it was. How could they possibly think in their mind that by making that kind of a pledge, and this would be month after month after month, God will be good to you and all this other stuff. And I'm not getting religious. I'm only telling the story here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going, wow, to take advantage of someone's spiritual nature is an entirely different story now. But these guys have the balls to get out here and to do this kind of thing amongst people that, I mean, they don't have plenty, especially in the section of Brooklyn where, he is, and that's Remsen Avenue, not too far from Atlantic Avenue, Remsen Avenue in the area. I'm not saying it's impoverished, but, these people are struggling to try to make ends meet.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. No, there's a reason why some of the most successful, so to speak, ministers, priests, however you want to call them, were at one time either a con artist or a used car salesman or a car salesman in general, because they could convince a person out of their shirts in the middle of a snowstorm.
And I don't get it. I do not get that whole idea of that. But here's a picture of his so-called book, and this is what he brought with him out of the prison. As you can see, he was all up in this, and while he was on his computer with the book open, getting ready to give this sermon, that's when the three guys came in at gun and robbed the place.
Ay.
And when you take a look at this picture, you could see who he was targeting. The majority of the folks who are absolutely just beautiful when it comes to their spiritual nature, which are women, are the ones that are targeted.
Mm-mm-mm.
As you can see, every person, with the exception of maybe one, are all women.
Yeah, he was putting on a show.
Yeah, he was doing a show, and it's sad. It's sad to see, and then, click in the background, connect the background now. He coming from a bad place, to go into now this particular area to take advantage of people's spiritual nature. You tried to do it as a mortgage broker. You messed up, got caught. Okay. But also as a minister, what happened here as well is that one of the women was on, I don't know if she was on chemotherapy or something like that. And the woman, worked all her life and had her savings to get ready to buy a house. He had found out about it doing his private consultations of tithing, and found out she had some money in the bank. So he had asked her if she could loan him $90,000.
Oh, dear God.
Watch this now. I shit you not. 90,000. New York Times article, folks. Just type in his name and get this article and read the rest of it. For a vehicle investment, real estate investment, to where to where the returns would be a very good return, ROI, return on your investment, and he would pay her back.
He Ponzi schemed her.
Yeah. And he was so convincing. Guess what she did? She gave him the money.
Mm-hmm.
$90,000, which he took from her. Lord knows whatever the hell he did with it. You could see evidence of that in front of you. And never gave it back to her.
Oh, dear God.
Never gave it back to her. Never gave it back to her. She, of course, reported that to law enforcement. They have contacted, since he had a record and everything else like that, obviously they sent that record to be investigated, and the FBI got involved. Okay, so now, one more now. He tries to borrow $5,000 from another individual doing the same thing. So look, I'm using it for a side investment. I'll pay you back. Yada, 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 yada. Guess what they did? They gave him the money.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
whatever his spiel is, whatever his shtick, whatever you want to call it, these people are $90,000 from one woman who's undergoing cancer treatment. Another guy for $5,000. Unbelievable. However, the guy that he got the $5,000 from was an undercover FBI agent.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And yeah, so they got him. And right now, he's in federal court. He's been indicted for a lot of the shit, and it's all starting to come out. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, because there are people starting to come out on this guy about the same conversations during consultation that he was digging at. And it's incredible. I said I got to share this with my audience. To be very much wolves in, what is it? Wolves in sheep's clothing.
Yes, exactly.
I said, oh, wait a minute. We're in the 21st century. I said, oh, I mean, people have to know, asking for that kind of money, number one, it's got to be something going on with the individual. But he was able to build such rapport and such trust coming from this place of authority. No, the pastor would never steal from it. I mean, the pastor's with the Lord. You know, they convince themselves psychologically and emotionally, convince themselves to say, okay, here. And it's money. These people's life savings are being drained from these blood suckers that come out of jail and say that they've been saved and all this other stuff. Only meanwhile, later, they turn around and show you who they are. Mm-hmm. So he's in federal court in New York. I'm following the case too as it develops. I'll be also adding this to my repertoire of cases, but I wanted to just share this as a beginning piece to give you an idea of what's out there, folks.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to identity theft, that's your life. Yeah.
I apologize. I got to run. I apologize. I got to jump off real quick. I got to jump off at this point. It's don't underestimate people. Is the short of it. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it is.
Have a good night, man.
No, I appreciate you jumping up. Thanks a lot, and we'll connect.
Absolutely.
All right, RJ.
Bye.
You got it. And thank you for sharing that piece with Summer Wells. But yeah, folks, that's what I wanted to share with you about this guy, Lamar Whitehead, Bishop from Brooklyn. Oh, man. Anyway, I've been up here, 3.5 hours? My goodness. Talk about priming the pump. But I want, oh man, it's incredible. As soon as you think you heard it all, here comes another one. As soon as you think you heard it all, here comes another one. John Q, there's a video of him getting put off the block by real men for hustling the women in the community. Okay, D-Love, yeah. It's incredible. It's incredible. Oklahoma's over there laughing. He laying on the floor in his Gucci. I bet you he was happy doing that. I know she was laughing. Yeah, see? She over there laughing. Over there laughing. Lordy, Lordy, Albert's 40. That's right, Miss Justice. Oh, man. We had a preacher like that at church. He'd go to their jobs and get oh, my God, look at that. And that's all it is. It's a hustle. I'm serious. That's really all it is. And it's sad. It really is. Because these are the kind of predators out there that will try to take advantage of specific people emotionally. That's how they do it. Emotionally. And so we got to be mindful of the people whom we think are, following the Lord too. Not just all the other stuff that we talk about pertaining to other cases, but my goodness, in these prosperity churches, if you will, or ministries. Let me not call it a church. It's a ministry. Ministry, I think, is a proper word. I don't want to say church. I can't help it. I can't. I just can't. Okay. Tammy Faye milked a lot of folks for money to buy mascara. Yeah. Tammy Faye. That name rings a bell. It's crazy. It's crazy. Ooh, Oklahoma, you remember PTL Club? How about Jim still out here on with that new wife? Oh my God. They still got these shysters on TV. Oh man. And it's too much. It's too much. Well, as part of a hustle as young dudes like trying to say, I changed my life. Look what I got now. I need that 10% so God can bless you. Yeah, exactly. While she's fighting cancer. That's right. While she's fighting cancer, probably needed that money for additional medical costs and everything. That was a life savings. And he got it, $90,000. I have the court complaint and summons and a complaint. So it is in federal court. It is in federal court. Oh my goodness. They're too busy looking at what possession he had. Yeah. Thank you, Oklahoma. CNN.com. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's all you got to do. I said, you got to be kidding me. So with all this other shit going on out there in the world, these people would have the gall, the nerve to come up with a scheme like that. But when you really take a look at the bottom line of it, it's how easy and accessible people's information is. How they make it so easy for folks to get access to people's information. We're not safe online. That's why we got to use antivirus and anti-malware and all kinds of protection, even when you're on your computer. And you have to be careful of your cell phone, not traveling into areas where someone has got, oh, I forget the device that's used, where they can actually point a device at you or wherever they think your phone is, whether it's in your back pocket or your pocketbook or your shirt or whatever, but just point a device at you. And this device would pull from the air through a Wi-Fi connection of some sort, pull your data from your phone. You could be out shopping and somebody's in the same aisle and you're digging for your can of soup and they're digging for the ramen noodles on the other side of the soup lane and whatnot. And you use a device to pull your information right out of your pocket without you knowing it. They used to call them pickpocketers. There's somebody that would have to get close enough for you to feel them. Now they're doing it electronically. I mean, crazy. So yeah, definitely, whatever you folks do, I mean, protect yourself at all costs. This ain't a boxing ring where they say, defend and protect yourself at all given times. I'll be over here on the side. Crazy. But yeah, I just thought I'd bring that article up there. I mean, it grabbed me and I said, oh man, I said, this I want to share. I said, when I go live, I won't forget to share it. Oh my goodness. I've spent at least 3 hours and 41 minutes with you coming back live. I always enjoy my time connecting with each and every single one of you. And thank you for those that have sent some love my way, welcoming me back. I know I won't be bad no more. I'll zoom in and park every Sunday right back here on my channel so we can continue our work together, because we will be definitely following the West case as it unfolds. I'm excited about it. And then again, I just wanted to get it over. They're only going to go between Tuesday and they are looking to conclude by the end of June. So it's not going to be a long spanned case, so to speak, but just enough to hopefully convict Trezell and Jacqueline West for what they did and get it off the table. Get it right off the table. The Tyree Nichols case about the 5 cops, also indicted for murder. Get that one off the table too. Cops are not supposed to be doing that. They're supposed to be bringing in the bad guys, not become the bad guys. But voila, 21st century stuff type shit. But yeah, we want justice for that case too. Tyree Nichols and Nichols's family wants justice. Shanquella Robinson's family wants justice. Daniel Robinson's family wants to bring him home. Summer is still missing. What can we expect coming from that case now? As was discussed moments ago with RJ. But that's why we're here. All of this stuff unfolding, and each day it's got a different turn to it. That's the stuff that we cover here. Thank you, Oklahoma. It's so good to see you too. You were Miss too. And I miss Leslie B too. And there's a number of you that I haven't seen in a while. But you guys nudge me. It's good that I received an email from you, and Carol Smith. She's got me on the beam, keeping me updated, as well as Shamina Wright. She keeps me updated. she keeps the round table updated too. So there's a number of you that still behind the scenes touch base with us and me, to just say, hey, we love you when you're coming back. We love you when we're coming back. Come on now, come back. I kind of missed you on my table. What's up? We're doing a table talk tonight. I'm in. You're doing Cue the Truth tonight. I'm in. You go John Q Live. I'm in. But you got to turn on your computer, John. It works better when you turn it on and get online. Don't leave us out here too long. We find out where you live and break you down. Oh, man. Miss Justice, thank you so much for holding it down. Oklahoma, thank you so much for being here. Carol Smith, thank you so much for being here. All of my moderators, all of them. Thank you so much. And to my supporters, my audience, thank you for being here. The love is always in the house. Molly 13, Big Steak in the house. Oh my goodness. We had Jennifer Nobles in the house. Good to see Jennifer. She always jumps in here. Ra the Creator was in the house. Oh my goodness. Let's see, who else? I got to scroll back up here. Marie Dijon was in the house. Laura Croft was in the house. Miss Lady Love in the house. Miss 45 in the house. Y'all hold it down. Hold it down all the time. Thank you to RJ for stopping by. Annette Sweeney was in the house. Okay, Annette. I know. Drama Free was in the house. Sweet Pea was in the house. Candy Cane 82. Shell was in the house. Linda Best, Cold Pepsi. And for those of you who are still with me right now, thank you. Like I said, I can't do this without you. Couldn't do it without you. Wouldn't do it without you. Most certainly. But we will be back. I shall be back. Now, you don't worry now. I will be back. And when I come back, we talk again. And we'll cover some more. But I will be paying attention to the West case as it unfolds. I may jump on here this week and do another live. It'll be a Cue the Truth and cover the highlights and updates as to what comes out of the court case. Whether Court TV does an excerpt, I'll come back with that. But most of you now being aware that the trial starts on Tuesday, I'm sure everybody's going to be on the beam. And then we'll have something to talk about as it begins to develop. You sent me an email? Okay, Linda. Yeah, I mean, I always have my email, my contact information in the description box. Definitely can stay in contact with me. Let me know if you hear something or a brand new case. I know that Carol Smith has been sending me some new cases to look at. I've still got to sort through those. But the hot ones that I've talked about tonight are still the same ones on my table that I'm still covering. Yes. Okay, Marie. You're looking forward to it? Me too. Me too. But once again, much love to everybody. And no, it's good to be back. I got my time scheduled back. You talk about everybody trying to pull you eat every which way possible to try to get your time. It's incredible. And then you got to try to make time in order to be on time. Make time to be on time. But yeah, so other than that, I'm going to leave you guys so that this way you can go and check out some other content creator channels that you're used to checking out. But for 3 hours and 49 minutes, almost, I spent some time here. It's all been good. It's all been good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Much love. Much love. And you know what I always say? I always say, be well and stay blessed with God's speed. Till next time. Till next time. Well, which song do y'all want to hear? You want to as an exit theme? I could do that. Yeah, I guess I can do this one. I think this is more appropriate since this is not a table talk or anything else like that. I think I can do this. Be more appropriate. I'll see y'all next time. Until that time, take care. Much love.